You can access the entire episode now on our website, forbiddenknowledge.news, Rokfin, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. So much happening, right? There's layers and layers, and I'm not sure if anybody really understands what is going on. I get different perspectives every day about the big picture of the top-down structure of what we're seeing unfolding, and it's very difficult to decipher, especially because our truther, quote-unquote, conspiracy culture has been infiltrated by these three-letter agencies, just like they've done any other movement. It's no different than anything else, but they've thrown so much out at the same time that it is difficult to decipher everything. People can't tell what is up from down. The good news is the original people who were looking at this stuff for a very long time are still pretty much batting 100 for the information that they've been presenting. It's these new people that are jumping in now that are seemingly trying to muddy waters, getting us looking at things that we shouldn't be looking at. It's very interesting, the level of propaganda that has infiltrated the conspiracy, quote-unquote, community. And as far as all the heads rolling that we're seeing, that's interesting as well. Is that just another level of theater? Are they collecting debts that these super celebrities can't cash in on? Is it some kind of ritual? Who knows what is going on with all that? But it does bring encouragement to see, especially when those heads like the Rothschilds die off and some of the royals die. That brings a level of happiness and encouragement to this community. So I don't know, man. It's hard to decipher with all that.
I gotta admit, on November 30th of this year, I will be hosting a Thank God Henry Kissinger's Dead party.
There you go.
And you're invited. You are.
Yeah.
It's come one, come all. So no, I agree with that sentiment. Plus, I've been threatening it for years, so I kind of got to make good on it. But no, you're right, and we're watching. Just as the old guard, as it were, fades away, we're seeing a very duplicitous face of their replacements, where there's a lot of people who are running around trying to claim the mantle of savior or free speech preserver or, stalwart reporter of the truth community. And none of them are. And in fact, they make it pretty plain and obvious to people who are trying to pay attention, but there's been a huge influx of people that are ultimately self-serving and stupid, or self-serving and greedy, but have become very, very willing instruments of state misinformation.
What are some of the things that could be behind these characters in Hollywood that are being outed? And not only that, in politics and on all levels, it seems like it's a really bad time for a lot of folks that used to be playing ball in these dark realms.
So my first instinct pretty much always is to look at it as we held the same people that are bringing these people down. Right, the same entities are the people that raised them up, right? So that's a sacrifice to me. But what it kind of also is the way that the West in particular treats its celebrities, the way that they're like, I don't know, almost deified, the way that they're at least held up as people who are above us. It seems to me that the rampant downfall in, full view of anybody, of the regular normies, in full view of everyone, is a kind of a desecration of the sacred. Because we've raised these people up onto these platforms in the Hollywood, in all of these different Memphis, all of these places that are like, historically very, very, very important, especially in terms of ritual. And then they've been raised up, they've been effectively worshipped, and now they're being exposed as fallible, false gods. I really do think most of this plays into the transhumanist agenda. If it's not orchestrated to do so, it certainly has the side effect of doing so. And it would be very advantageous to kind of usher in even more control of the industry than you previously had.
Where are you at with what we're seeing right now with this transhuman agenda? It doesn't seem like as many people are jumping on board as they would like to. The levels that they've developed their technology has been solely to benefit the ones at the top, to further enslave us and bring about this new technocratic system. We also have these folks that are on the other side of this, that are independent engineers and scientists and researchers that are uncovering things at the same time as the global consciousness is becoming aware that they're being duped. Could it be that it's just all falling apart from the top down and nobody really has control of the show anymore? And what we're seeing is a slow demolition of an old control system that can no longer sustain itself because people are becoming aware of it. And once that awareness comes, the spell is broken.
You know, man, I think like this every now and then. When I allow myself to go down this line of thinking, it goes a lot like, well, it does seem to be about Empire expiration 30. Yeah, you get about 300 years, give or take, 50 or so. We're about there. That I've seen the rise and fall of empire over the last couple thousand years is more or less the relocation of the capital of Rome.
So you think it may be just a controlled demolition? We're going to see new boss same as the old boss. You cut off the head of the Hydra, another one just appears. It's going to be just a different type of technocratic system that we're entering. Could it be that?
I mean, so let's kind of look at what's happening over in China, in Russia, places like that. The rise of the BRICS countries, which are all underwritten by the Bank of International Settlements, and it is, effectively just a different face of the same management system. But if we're years ago on Slow News Day, when I would talk about this, before I even read Controlled Demolition of the American Empire by Charlie Robinson, I was talking about the concept of the relocation of the capital of Rome, and I would say, and then they're going to throw it in Beijing next. And I don't know if I believe that now, but what I will say is that the replacement systems that have been suggested through academia and all of the institutions that we're watching disintegrate as a result of are the ones that they field tested over there first. And we've got a merger of, Chinese business, immortal family, and political leadership, and Eric Schmidt, who was from Alphabet, who was Henry Kissinger's appointed heir in the China project and what is largely becoming our shared digital prison, and is going to be routed through your freaking X account on the WeChat of the West as promised by Elon Musk. And all these free marketeers and all these pro-decentralization people just kind of clamped their mouths to this dude's taint and said, "Centralize me harder, daddy."
Jesus. Yeah, that's not encouraging, man.